the #1 source for our network to tune into week over week on what's happening, because it changes so fast.
What they do need to do, though, is expand the number of damn profiles that you can have on your Instagram. Like, Zuckerberg needs to get on this yesterday.
I will say on Instagram, it takes about 2 weeks for the trends from TikTok to come over to Instagram.
I feel like we need a not. I keep forgetting to ask Peyton. We need like a not sus option.
We'll get there.
Well, and that's been the benefit of the sauce week over week, just because there is so much change that's happening, and we were obsessing over keeping up with it, that being able to keep up with the change that's happening in the world digitally and what people need to be tuned into and what we were tuned into, and then bestowing that information out back to the people who are connected to us through the sauce is invaluable. You know, and look, here we are six months later, and it is the #1 source for our network to tune into week over week on what's happening, because it changes so fast. So.
Totally. On Twitter, I jokingly changed my Twitter bio to Digital Gossip Girl, and like I stand by it so hard. Like I can't release that title probably ever, because that's what it is, and like that's how this started. Of like, did you know that you can do this? Did you know that there's a secret font on stories? Did you know that this? And so this is really just like an aggregation of all of that knowledge brought to life and produced every week. So this is the audio and the visual treat component of it all. Every week, just to give everyone listening a roundup of how this thing works. It's a free newsletter every week, every Monday night. Really, we release a value-packed newsletter full of great insights, lots of information, and a lot of, let's be honest, like opinions. But I think that they are insights-backed opinions with a lot of good stuff and kind of nuggets of information that content creators and digital entrepreneurs like us find valuable. So this is now an extension of that Monday newsletter. So what we're going to do today here is kind of go through a little bit what was published yesterday. Yesterday's edition was July 18th. And if y'all read it, you would know that speaking of spice, John, this one's for you. The spices are already out in the stores. I was taking a walk over the weekend and like cannot believe that like pumpkin spice is a thing already. It's fucking July 19th, you guys. So my point being is this is kind of it's a signal to the larger digital universe that like it's coming. You don't need to start planning your fall content and start like executing. You don't need to go out and buy like Uggs or a pumpkin spice latte flat lay so that you can get like the perfect photos. That can come a little bit later, but I do think that it's important to start, doing things like curating Pinterest boards if you're into that, or just saving shit on Instagram, or whatever your social platform of choice is. This is the time to do those things. Just keep an eye out. John, did you have something to add to that?
No, nothing insightful. No. But the people that you can tell the person that does not live in Florida, because when you're up north and you see these pumpkin spices or pumpkin beers or whatnot, you know what's coming. You know that the cold weather's coming. For us, it's great. It's good for us. We like to hear the holiday commercials and all that stuff. But then you'll be stuck in knee deep in snow. So.
I know, but you guys do get, I think, because coming from Arizona where it's similar climate in some capacities, the retail, at least local retail, does try to cater to the local denizens who cannot experience otherwise winter. So like of course you'll have like your strip mall stores that are still selling like furry boots and it's like 90 degrees outside and they're like fall winter sale. Yeah, exactly. So.
But marketing, from the marketing standpoint, the people are already starting on their holiday marketing already, right? So you're getting ahead of it from there. So it's important to see those trends as they're coming. And for me, it's like, oh shit, Halloween's coming and we have this piece of content that we need to finish and all that stuff, right? That we haven't done. So it's things of that nature. So from a marketing standpoint, it's like, understanding what's about to happen, both in trends, but also in seasons, because seasons are trendy too.
Totally.
Those Uggs latte, cinnamon spice latte and Uggs.
You can't get rid of them, man. One good thing I want to note before we move on is like a weird seasonal lull that we have going on right now is a really good time to focus like your creative research efforts on any seasonal stuff, because the minute that you start researching, you know, like Halloween content or fall content or Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is, like any seasonal content closer and closer to the deadline, you're just going to be inundated with campaigns and like spammy visuals. So if you really want like the good stuff that's taken a year to garner engagement and likes and actually stands out as a good piece of content, like look for that stuff now, because you won't be able to find it probably in like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, moving on. Here's what we got going on this week. We'll run through it. All right.
No, I've got to stop myself from talking. Okay. I was going to say, every time we transition, you have to do that. You're going to have to do that thing right there.
I'm in planner mode.
All right.
Don't knock it.
No, I'm saying it's a character it'll become a character of the show. So.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it animated. Yeah. Okay, so everyone, here's what we got on tap this week. Facebook is testing a super creepy, but probably is going to be insanely useful new feature where you can toggle between profiles. We'll get to that in a second. Instagram is rolling out more features for only its subscribers. So if you guys didn't know, Instagram is doing this whole play. Actually, all social platforms really are doing this whole play for subscribers only content. You're seeing it everywhere. Definitely just, keep an eye on that. We'll touch on that again in a second. TikTok is serving up some more ways to spot or more easily spot your content that's maybe a little bit racier, R-rated, a little too saucy for had to do it. A little too saucy for like your main feed maybe. So they're actually going to be introducing like a rating system, which is it'll be interesting. Talk about emoji trends. Over the weekend was International Emoji Day. That was on Sunday. And then last but not least, my favorite at the end, we'll talk about DALL-E, which is a AI image generation model. It sounds confusing, but it's really fucking cool, and I can't wait to talk about it. We also have a couple other little trends that we'll bring up and mention. Anna, if you have some call outs on the TikTok front. And then if anyone else has anything at the end, I do have a funny surprise that we'll go through and to talk a little bit more about like what local marketing looks like. It's a little bit out of our scope. We do talk a lot about like digital stuff, but sometimes we get caught in that bubble and it's nice to step out of it and see what's going on outside. So talk about it.
All right. I like that.
All right. That's the rundown. Hold on. Now I actually have to pull up the email. So first things first, Facebook is testing this new thing. I mean, people use Facebook, yes. I personally don't use Facebook regularly. I do use Facebook as a member of groups, and I know that Facebook now has like anonymous options within those groups. It's not always functional from what I've noticed. But now it's officially testing and probably will soon roll out an option to toggle between multiple profiles. And the messaging on what it was,
so you can
screenshot.
You can stock way more efficiently now. Is that
totally
what you're doing? Right?
Totally. That's exactly what it is.
Or Anna doesn't need her burner accounts, I guess.
Yes. Stop taking up space on my phone.
Yeah. I gotta read you guys what it says on the graphic that somebody spotted on Twitter and screenshotted. They were served with this option on Facebook. It says, create another profile, express another side of you, show off a different side. No matter what you're into, there's a community waiting for you. Connect with certain friends, and then last but not least, switch profiles with one login.
I know what they're doing. So it seems to me that that's a play on like getting people used to different identities inside the metaverse. Yep. So as they're pushing in there, that's exactly why they would start to get people to do that. I never heard that before you said that, but very interesting.
That's exactly my thoughts on it. I think it could go some creeper ways.
Yeah.
But, I mean, people are very much protective of their identity. And before now, like Facebook has made it very, very difficult to have multiple identities. In the newsletter, I called out, like, raise your hand if you've ever had to friend request your boss just to get access to Facebook Ads Manager. Like, literally anyone who's been involved in Facebook Manager, Business Manager, has had to add, like, people, which, normally is no problem. But, like, if you're day 2 of a company and they're like, friend request me on Facebook, you have to do it because you need that access. Hopefully now that's will make some of that stuff easier. I've had my own personal Facebook burner accounts just for, like, business access to things, and I always lose the password or get suspended because it's not a real account. So
sounds like this is option for you now. Who uses Facebook here? Anybody on Facebook and at all?
I only use it when my mom sends me links to things she watches. So
that's right.
Only because of my mom.
Yep. Sharing that on Facebook?
Nope.
No. Taylor on Facebook.
I actually had the app deleted for, like, almost 2 years until like late last year. Yeah.
I like to say that I don't like to say, but the when Facebook was just open for colleges, like my college, it was like one of the first ones that they opened it up to.
Back in the day.
And it's coming full circle, creeper stuff, because I had this very creeper roommate, and he's like, you got to check out this thing, Connect.
Still the Facebook.
Right, you got to check out Connect You and the Facebook, and he was adamant about it. We looked at it. I was like, this is like a dating site, so that's why I just dismissed it from there. But yeah, it was a dating site for creepers. From what my first experience was with Facebook. But now I'm rarely ever on it. I do get, it's where I see family photos, and I used to get news from it, but not until this it started getting in different ways, but news meaning like there's a meteor coming and check out the stars and stuff like that But now I'm not really on Facebook that much.
Instagram and Facebook are working together pretty heavily, though, because you can toggle that on switch to post your post directly to Facebook from Instagram, which sometimes I'll do if I want my mom to see it, and then I'll turn it off if I don't want my mom to see it. But they're about to release a new feature, or so I heard, to post reels directly to Facebook. So that same reel that you're posting to Instagram will go directly to Facebook and give you a little more reach. Because right now they're kind of pushing it. They're saying they're promoting it, but anytime I go into insights on reels, I don't see any views directly from Facebook. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
Because I was thinking that, like, it already had that option, but what's the difference between what it does now versus what?
Well, what it does now is saying it'll just kind of promote it over there, but any of
but
the
it's not like
reels
a native.
posted, right? So it's not a native. So this will kind of be a more native post over to there. We'll see. I don't know if reels would take off on Facebook.
Is Instagram a platform that we're all on for the most part? Is it
every day?
Yeah, every day. Instagram's gone through its own, like, growing pains and is egregiously trying to imitate TikTok in so many ways, and it's been successful for them so far. So I don't think that its user base is going anywhere, but it does need to do something about the ad content. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. But lots of writers, we've written about it, like the level of sponsored content in comparison to even just a few months back, it's like insane on Instagram.
Well, that's why you have that following tab on Instagram. You have your different sections of where you can scroll through, but that main one, the one you open up your app to, covered in ads or sponsored content.
Got it. I didn't know that.
Which, the interdependencies, obviously being one brand, Meta, of Facebook, Instagram, and even if in Metaverse, this is what they're setting up for, to have multiple profiles or aliases so that you can have multiple identities. But there's still this interdependency between, Instagram and Facebook that's forcing people who, do not want to be interdependent with the two platforms. We don't want to be on Facebook. We'd rather be on Instagram, but yet it's still linked as a necessity, as determined by the big entity. And how do you decouple that? Businesses benefit from that because they can cross link it. If most of their audience is on Instagram. They can cross post it to Facebook. They could have the Facebook groups and everything. But how do you decouple from each other so that you can have independent digital experiences?
I think that Facebook, for so many businesses, actually probably Instagram as well is the same way, but I know Facebook for a fact is like a great content graveyard for places. Like, I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but it's like you post your stuff on Instagram, and like, sure, the hell, why not? I'll post it to Facebook as well. You toggle that switch, and then it goes off into the graveyard to die. And you don't know what became of it. At least I don't, not the way that I function. And the only times I'm actually cognizant of the content that's on Facebook is if I'm actively seeking out like those insights, or doing like research or something. Other than that, it just sort of fizzles into the ether. And I think that it's a good lesson for really all business types and brands to know that not all platforms are for all businesses. And if you're not seeing the traction and like benefit from Facebook, or you don't have the time commitment to like create a group and maintain it, then like maybe it's just not worth being there. It might be good for posterity to have like business details, especially if you're local, but for many it is a content graveyard.
So does Instagram need to have the toggle of profiles? Do we need to be a single sign-on with multiple personalities within Instagram? Is that the way of the future?
I mean, I think you can, in a sense, with how profiles can be set up now. It didn't used to be that way, but I think that, I don't know, like if you can have multiple profiles under like your one personal profile, it could branch into that direction. I could see it. What they do need to do, though, is expand the number of damn profiles that you can have on your Instagram. Like, Zuckerberg needs to get on this yesterday.
It's so bad.
The fact that I have to sign out of things every time is just...
That's why I have my iPad. My iPad stacked full, and so is my phone of accounts.
Because you're managing multiple accounts, you have to...
you have a limit.
You have a limit.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah. There was a time that I, like, anytime I needed to check something natively in Instagram, it was like a 20-minute process of just logging out and then like reorienting myself and trying to log back in. And the story goes on. But I do want to talk about Instagram. We can touch on it quickly because it did just release a bunch of new features for subscribers. We talked about how there's a lot of subscriber content, subscriber only content that's being kind of pushed and volleyed across the whole social media platform landscape as it is, and Instagram is of course one of those. So the latest update, it serves up more subscriber only features. Now creators who have subscribers can do subscriber only chats, so you can chat with people who are paying for your content. Subscriber only reels, so reels that only your subscribers can see, as well as subscriber only posts. So that makes the last one right there, the post, makes it the easiest to quickly post something that you don't have to, like, you instantly, like, this is only for my subscribers. So if you're like, for instance, the example that I use in the newsletter is like, if you're regularly creating, full length videos, like for instance, if you are doing tutorials or fitness routines or physical tours of spaces, or even, art related stuff that has like a longer format to it, and you have paying subscribers, or you have the model set up to build a subscriber base, like film that content full length and then divide it up. You can take that content and put it on all of your different channels. But like, for example, 1 5-minute video, you can put a snippet of it on your reels or several. You can add a carousel to your grid. And now with this update, you can add a carousel for only your subscribers to your grid. You can create stories from all of the above, and then you can publish the full length video for your subscribers only. So that's kind of a small example of how this, all of these different subscriber only features sort of work together with your existing content. End rant.
I see that for, the small businesses that want to have somewhat of a membership model, and the physical small businesses that want to push out like, hey, be a member, be a subscriber, and not have to run it through another platform as a membership model. And then you could send the members only the discounts, or the members only the link for the swag, or whatever it might be. So I see that in a real opportunity for people who want to use Instagram, and making the content specific to the people who want to opt in, that core group of members. So not only do you get paid on the subscriber model if you wanted to, but you also get to push out, subscriber or member specific content to them.
Yeah. And it makes it way easier too with these types of features to easily like get that messaging out. Whereas previously you would have to I think it was only stories you could go through. So you would have to make content specifically for your stories, for your subscribers to see. Now it's like, if you have a message or like a promo, Sharon, like you just mentioned, you could say like, hey, everyone gets, 30% off this upcoming event in person at the studio or at the wherever it is. Hit post goes only to your subscribers, and like your work here is done. I think that it's a good way to definitely level up the efficiency with some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I know,
and it's going to get better.
Yep. Cool. I'm interested. Is that rolled out now? Did you say? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's now for. I think, Anna, and correct me if I'm wrong, you might be able to speak to this, because I think we've had a client as part of it, but the subscribers product from Instagram is like, is it still invite only? Are they testing like subscriptions on a broad range of creators, or is it you have to meet the eligibility requirements?
I'm actually not 100% sure on the subscription thing, like who they're offering it to, or if it's everybody. I have seen where you can buy the subscriber badge as someone watching someone else's content. You can buy like a 99-cent badge and support that creator. What we've seen and what we've worked on with the client is called Reels bonus. So that's kind of something different. Instagram is directly sending that to you. So it's not subscriber only content. It's whoever your following base is. And then Instagram is paying you for however many views, whatever that ratio is. They're paying you for your Reels. So it's only based on Reels, and you get money off of that.
Okay. So that's a different program. We'll follow up on what the subscriber creator access to subscription features, what that eligibility looks like. I know it is rolled out in some capacity on a smaller scale, because like badges and stories, I've subscribed to those, but I don't know if these new features, we'll have to see if they're eligible for all creators who are part of that.
We have to tune in, because I'm looking now just to make sure, so we can have the answer for it. If we don't know the answer, you can always find out. That's what's cool about the social media stuff. You can test for yourself and find out different things.
Exactly. We do have one more Instagram update to talk about.
Go for it.
All right. So anyone who sells products on Instagram, you can sell and make payments and take payments if you're a seller in DMs, which is awesome, because if you're one of those people who buy stuff on Instagram, or if you're a seller on Instagram who sells like, your swag or like memberships or, whatever it is, as part of your brand, and people are reaching out to you in your DMs like, hey, do you have this size, or do you have that, or can I get one of those? You can just send them the link right there. They can make the payment, and it's over and done with in a matter of seconds. So I think that's a huge up for, the e-commerce level of what Instagram is trying to do. And it's definitely just like worth a call out that's one more level of ease that Instagram is really, really trying to give to those creators and small business owners on this platform.
I mean, again, I love it. The idea of like, a lot of conversations and transactions get so far down the DM route, or even in some of these chatbots on a website portal, which could start becoming obviously run by Facebook Messenger if you wanted to do it through Facebook Messenger. So being able to have the correspondence and not have to leave in order to have a transaction, especially for a small business who is very dependent on Instagram and the the correspondence is. Again, you know, I'm thinking about a small business that I was, you know, interacting with that could have had a lot more transactions if it didn't have to leave DM. So
what is the, here's my ADS over here. What is that button? I'm looking to try to find if you can see it. What's that button on the Instagram profiles? That's just like an ad, like a plus, but I'm already following it. So
hold on, you'll have to show me or talk me through it one more time, and I can follow.
Go through. Let me see if we have it. Yeah, we don't have it on there. So if you go to, I just threw this thing up, Valuetainment. They get a free plug of this stuff. So Valuetainment on Instagram. And then brought to you by our sponsor, One Day Valuetainment. The then if you see view shop, following, message, contact, and then there's that plus button for the person.
Oh, so that is, it shows your recommended or suggested followers based on that profile.
Okay.
Or not followers, but people that you should follow. Yeah. Follow or recommendations. Yes.
Oh, so I click on that, and then it goes to all these other suggestions from there. And then you see all these other things. Okay.
Yeah. It's a really good way to do like some competitive research.
100%. So I was going to say the same thing. When did that roll out? Because I didn't know that. That is cool.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. The old-fashioned way of doing it was like you have to follow them, and then you get the pop down after you follow them of like who else you can follow. I don't know. I guess I didn't like explicitly realize that this was a thing, and just I've been using it for like a couple months at least.
Interesting. Well,
yeah. Oh, here we go.
Well,
off to the rails.
That's what sucks about TikTok, because you can't go on that app, even on business meetings without it popping up something.
No, you gotta mute all volumes before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is the news and the trends on at least the immediate social front. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, what are some other topics and trends that we're just keeping in line, keeping in the loop on. I mentioned that over the weekend was International Emoji Day. So one of the fun, I think, graphics that we can post up here. I've always wanted to do that. Wait, I am. Oh no, I'm on the.
You're on the top.
Whoops, I wasn't looking. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Yep. This graphic.
Yeah, can't
everyone point in.
You can't stand in the way of a girl in her dreams. Right?
The center.
So you've always wanted to do this. We make it happen.
Let me have this.
I think you just do.
This is gonna be in the center, you guys. Okay.
Oh. Right,
your center is different than my center.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely looks different.
You know what? We tried our best. That's all that matters. So most tweeted emojis worldwide. Who? Not John, but anyone else here want to take a guess at what number one was? No looking.
You know what it is.
If you can get number 1, 2, or 3.
All right, Sharon. What do you think?
No, I love number 10 because I'm the like, look at this.
I know.
Oh, you've already seen it.
She's already on it.
You have saved surprises with it. Yep. So what is the number? I guess it is. What's the number one?
Number one is
actually, by the way,
full cry.
I forgot all. By the way, so you could have used me all over again with it. So full crying is number 1.
Yeah, we got full cry face. Number 2 is laugh cry. We all love laugh cry. I do. It's my number 1 always. And then I don't really know what number 3 is. It's like Twitter's version of an emoji. So, you know, I only fuck with Apple. I don't really know what that is.
Oh, that's the what do they call it? The simp emoji. Apple has that.
Is it like
the little simp? That's what my younger siblings call it. The simp emoji.
Sympathy?
No, not sympathy.
Like SIMP. Okay.
Yeah.
Simp emoji. I'm Google that stuff too.
I'm also annoyed by this graphic, and the emoji on the yellow background is not visually impaired, ADA compliant. Just
It's really good.
I have a game for you guys in Discord. Take a screenshot of your most recently used emojis. Like just pull up your emoji board and take a screenshot and send it in there.
I feel like we need a not. I keep forgetting to ask Peyton. We need like a not sus option emoji so we can, because there's times I just want to put not sus on it instead of sus. So
Well, isn't there like an antonym for the word sus?
Like suspect is
sus. Unsus.
Yeah, the insus does not. I don't think it sounds good. It wouldn't be the top 10 emoji. It'd be the diamond. That says
this
20.
would be a fun team game of who's who of
that would be good.
Whose emojis are these?
Of emojis.
That is a great game.
All right. It looks like John's top 5 are the LOL, the sword, which is from
a custom
one of our
emoji.
servers. Yep. The shield, the heart shield, 100%, and fire. Which
that's 1,000%, by the way.
1,000. Yeah.
It's 1,000.
Wait, what server is that from?
That?
I've been trying to stalk that one.
Which one?
1,000%, because I can't find it. Do we need to make one?
Yeah,
is
I mean,
that like very? Oh, are we gonna accidentally plug another project right now?
I've never used that couch emoji ever, so this is I find this very weird.
Kids have been on there.
Did you ever read like what the code is for the emojis? Like, how is that the name of the emoji?
Why is Anna's cropped? You definitely you definitely were hiding some shit.
Yeah,
so that might be your bottom, the bottom ones, but all right.
Yeah, the reason I cropped it was because those are all blacked out because I'm not paying for the nitro.
Got you.
That happened to Tay today. She tried to send me something, and then she tried to send something else, and then something else.
It's like the wrong emoji because like if you're subscribed to Nitro, and then I learned this today, and which is the Discord like premium subscription. Talk about subscriptions, and it expires after a few months. You can't use the emojis in all the different servers, so it literally just shows up when you try to use them. It psychs you out. It shows you the full panel, and then you click on it and you send it, and you're like, "Oh, it's such a cool fucking emoji! I can't wait for this other person to see it." And then like it's like text because you're not Nitro anymore. So don't be me.
Special.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there beyond Discord? Is there a way I could see my other emojis on stuff that's frequently used? Does that come up or no?
Text messages.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna check.
Yeah, it does come up, but it's the same. It's similar shit, similar stuff.
No, you know what? My emojis on my phone are different than my emojis on my desktop because it uses my like Apple keyboard, I guess, rather than my, I don't know. It's using my Apple.
I have a work mode and a personal mode for emojis.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how riveting, entertaining it is for this, but this is a cool thing for me that I learned. That's fun, and it's a fun thing. Everybody should play the game. I like the game. It's a fun game.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
But I will say, and this is circa like 2017, I was working with an exec who had a whole speech about the way that emojis have psychologically transcended any sort of language, because visually it's the universal language of how we can communicate with each other, no matter what language you speak. And it goes back to cave drawings and the cave drawings of animals and situations where it didn't matter how you verbalize what you were trying to say, you could visualize what you were trying to say, and that's how we were able to communicate. So that is the success of the emojis. So.
Emojis is a trend that I never, when it first came about, I wouldn't do any of that stuff, but it's integrated into everybody's daily lives on that stuff, which is interesting, very interesting. So I'm sure there's other stuff. What are people doing now that I'm not doing that maybe one day I will? I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a Discord before. I didn't have an alias name before on that stuff. So I guess that's the most recent thing. I don't know what the next thing is.
Well, the next thing might just be Dolly. So, not sure if, you know what? Actually, I'd be curious. John, let's go around the room. I want to hear what you think Dolly is. In your best terms. Okay,
I know
what
it
is.
but when you announced it, I pictured like a like the Jetsons robot lady because you said something like model or something. So
Yeah.
I was thinking along that.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's just the generative, it's like AI generative stuff, right? Where you put in what you want it to say, and it will pop up different images around the internet that feed you back something that's, kind of what you said. It's new to the technology and stuff, but at some point, the way that I've seen these things advertised is you would say, show me a green parrot with show me a green parrot on a video podcast talking about emojis, and they show you this green parrot with looking at emojis and that stuff. But the stuff that I've played around with, they're like they look like that pleb emoji, basically. They'll like mark mashed up. So
yeah.
So it's like a visual form of Jasper AI.
Yes. Yeah. That's literally what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
teacher's pet over there, star pupil. You call in the idiot that stumbles through this stuff, and then whatever.
Like it's a whole framework or an AI model that basically it's a search engine. You type in a prompt, and then it gives you a visual reference that it builds using artificial intelligence based on what you told it from that prompt, and also based on what this AI knows about what other people have searched for. And then it creates a bunch of thumbnails for you to take your pick of what it thinks the best response for your search query was. So you can say like a penguin floating in space holding an ice cream cone, and it will figure out how to do it. There's a lot of like natural language processing and like techie terms that will quickly spin a person into a rabbit hole, no pun intended, but literally there's a lot that goes into like machine learning. But the basics of it is that like searchable imagery that's based on what you prompt it for, and it's created in real time generatively with an AI model, is gonna, I think, in many ways change the future of like content. Think of all the times that you've ever had to like stalk through iStock or Shutterstock photos looking for the perfect like girl with a balloon walking upstairs or something like that.
Yeah,
and
you can get in trouble for some of the searches that you need to find to look for too, and not even intending to.
The confusing element, not really confusing, but like I think the part that has a little bit more technicality around it is like DALL-E itself isn't the platform. DALL-E is and DALL-E 2, which is like its successor. DALL-E is the AI framework model that it can be built on. So you can plug that framework into an actual platform that can then like have the interface to like search it and do things with it. So that being said, the output can be whatever you want it to be in terms of aspect ratio. You just have to be able to, I guess, plug in, the API of DALL-E and figure out all of that, which right now I think it's still on like a pretty limited release. So certain people can like sign up for DALL-E and like petition to be accepted as like a test user, and then they can do whatever they want with it and build a platform around it. But there are a lot of, I'm sure we can come up with many easily, but there are a lot of risky use cases as well, and like ethical things that need to be sorted out before I think something like this becomes mainstream.
What is the involvement of Crayon? Crayon.
So they're like one of those they're like one of those shell test users that was approved to use the framework, and so they created this like DALL-E Mini, which basically uses all of it uses that AI model, but it's kind of a lightweight version of it. They have removed all images of human faces, I think is the latest, just in order to veer away from like all kinds of misuse and abuse issues. But there's all kinds of cool stuff. So like you can use DALL-E Mini, which is by, what is it called? Crayon. And it's type in all kinds of weird stuff. It does take a little bit. You have to be patient because it's like on one server and it's slow and a lot of people are using it. But you can get some wild stuff.
Image composition AI is as the future of being able to have the attribution of there's something original that you could you could be paid for as a composite of something that gets put together, right? So the traceability of, yes, if it happens to be my selfie from whenever, like, and I get paid because it got used into a composite of like me, at a hair salon, because that's where they want to make their money and use that image, then sure, I'll take it, and I've allowed the rights to have my image sourced for some sort of composite that would be great, and even the mock-up that you did is, and I think of DALL-E, I think of like Salvador Dali and surrealism and things like that.
I know,
like,
right?
This idea that I think we are a little bit more tolerant of like abstract as a visual society, that it doesn't have to be perfect, that if we're accepting of visuals that are new age and composited and somewhat authentic to this particular situation, and having to, instead of having to like carefully curate it or have it produced as a live action photo shoot or whatnot, is an interesting thing to look forward to as creators, as consumers, and maybe getting paid for being the product down the line.
Finally. One last thing that I did want to make sure that we tack on to this call as well. We didn't get to touch on this earlier because I kind of glossed through it on my Instagram moment. So TikTok, though, is rolling out a new like late content rating system. So that'll, I guess, number one, as you're scrolling through a TikTok, you'll be able to, I'm assuming they haven't made this explicitly clear yet, but to be able to filter out those things, the content level system will classify those videos into a couple different categories. So similar to like how movies and TV shows, video games and things like that are rated. So you'll actually be able to, in your settings, turn off that level of, R-rated content or explicit content, that kind of thing. I guess it makes sense. There's lots of.
Can you turn off like kids songs?
And
can you turn off like?
can you
I want to see the kids content.
R-rated?
Yeah.
I know, right? No, for real. Well, if there's anything that like TikTok's big saving grace is, its algorithm is like insanely accurate and very quick to learn your viewing habits. So if you're seeing lots of like kids stuff on your feed and like nursery rhymes and stuff, you might just, your children are probably watching your phone too much. That's what happens. But Anna, did we have any other TikTok trends? Any trending audio? Any sounds? Any Instagram content that you wanna
regret sending it to now and bringing it up. Over the weekend, I decided I wanted to try a very, very stupid TikTok trend. Probably one of the stupidest ones you've ever seen. Stupidest a word? I guess I have to.
I haven't even watched it, and I'm kind of at the edge of my seat.
Do you want to pull it up? I don't know.
Yeah, can I?
Will let me.
Yes, you can pull it up.
Do you want to show them the actual trend first? And then I sent you I did not post my video. I sent you my video on your Instagram DM, so I don't know if you'll be able to pull that up.
Slide in those. All right.
Full disclosure, though, it does say, I don't know if it says it on this video, but it says TikTok has a little thing where it's like, this is basically, don't try this at home. This could be very harmful.
Good disclaimer. Good disclaimer. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear it.
Sound on? I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
Oh, sounds on. But before you share the screen, before you share the screen, you can get it to sound.
Okay, hold on. Let me try it again.
I thought you were trying to just help her out. But then I realized that you're the one that introed it into this thing, and that's definitely not the case.
All right, hold on. Where? Okay, share tab audio. Share.
All right. I don't even know how you start off by just proposing that idea to have her dump that on you. Like,
it took me 30 minutes to explain it to them, and they just stared at me like I was stupid the entire time.
Like while all the last drip of water came from that bucket, they still had that same expression on their face, right? Pretty much.
I will say on Instagram, it takes about 2 weeks for the trends from TikTok to come over to Instagram. So if you catch those trends early on TikTok, so this is my whole idea. Like, I'm going to post this on Instagram. If you catch them early on TikTok and you bring them over to Instagram, you will normally get quite a lot of views.
That's good info, and people are going to not trust any of your credibility after this.
Next time we'll just do it. We'll do any of these trends. We'll just do it in CGI for you. Like, you don't have to lay down. Like, just put yourself on a green screen, do your audio, and we'll do it. So you don't have to have that.
You gotta hey, I'm not hating. You gotta try. You gotta try some stuff out there. Like, I just wonder. I'm like so curious now how many views that would have gotten. It's just like we'll never know.
I'm not posting it. It's not going out in the world.
Never know. I feel like some sort of game. The loser has to do that and put that out there.
Put it on there.
I'm thirsty. Yep. On that note, Influencers in the Wild is a great social media account on all of the socials.
Did you see the game? I just played the board game with my friends the other night.
No.
They have a board game. It's actually really fun. A lot of the prompts will be like, you have to do something stupid and post it to your social media and tag their page.
That's amazing. Okay, send us a link to that game.
I mean,
that
we're all giving them content. I can't tell you how many times, especially in South Florida, I'm like, oh, I just missed it. Like, I see it happening, and I'm like, oh.
Yep. Or you learn the trend, and you have to do it 800 times to figure it out and get the timing right. And like, you can only imagine that there's probably a whole family beyond in the windows, like just watching you fail 800 times. It's fine. This actually hasn't happened to me personally.
I like it. I think for us, what I love about the sauce and all that stuff is stuff that we all have to kind of learn together. It's like something we're all curious with. Definitely everybody here with social media. So if it's like, you've got to learn about it, let's like write about it and make sure that that we all get it and have conversations like this, and to be able to be a fly on the wall in some of these things for most of the conversation, I think, but other parts not, but continuing to hone in on the sauce, and it's amazing content, and the people that can't read it can listen to it, and it's a little bit of a cool feel. We get the Perez Hilton of social media or something, the TMZ of social media. Digital Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Yep.
XOXO. I guess that can be my sign off, right? What's something that was Anna? You watch Gossip Girl, right?
I actually haven't.
Gossip Girl, the old what? I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, CW.
It was CW, right? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But she always says something cute like, "That's one secret I'll never tell." XOXO. Gossip Girl. Digital Gossip Girl.
Yep, that's one. Yeah, that's one TikTok trend we'll never show. That's what we'll end it with that on this one.
Hey, called out, Anna.
All right.
Well, thanks for another saucy week.
Yes. Sauce Boss signing off. Bye, guys.
See you later, guys.
Bye.